Beth Harmon, Elizabeth Olivia Harmon, in full name. She's a chess prodigy. At just 9 years old, Beth experienced a tragedy. Her mom tried to take both of their lives by crashing a car. Thankfully, Beth survived, but now she's taken to an orphanage where her life will completely turn upside down. From then on, she makes new friends. She experiences life differently, and she falls into addiction at a very young age, but in all of that, she finds something that keeps her alive. Chess. She starts at a young age playing with Mr. Shaibel in the basement. In addition to this, she's also taking Librium every other night, where something in her brain changes and she's able to play chess on the ceiling and remember and learn so many things. Very quickly, she becomes better than Mr. Shaibel and gets invited to a high school to play everyone on the chess club simultaneously. Of course, she wins against everyone. She's living in the orphanage, but then one day someone arrives. It's the Wheatley family. Beth is getting adopted, and a completely new life comes for her. She arrives at this big house, sees her own room, but quickly realizes that her new father, Allston Wheatley, doesn't really like her. With her mother, she creates a good relationship quickly enough. Alma also tells her that they are struggling with money. And because of that, she gets laughed at in school for having old clothes and being the nerdy kid. But then something happens. Alma was asking Beth to get something from the pharmacy, and when it arrives, it's what Beth had wanted for so long. Librium. She steals half of her mother's bottle and starts seeing chess on the ceiling again. She keeps stealing Alma's medicine, and she also steals a chess magazine from the store. There she finds a tournament to enter. She doesn't have any money to enter it, so she sends a message to Mr. Shaibel asking for some money. When it arrives, she enters the tournament. She's very confident that she's going to win, but other people laugh at her and say she won't get past the first rounds. Quickly enough, she proves them wrong, finishing the first game in just a few moves and then slowly getting through everyone else. She beats Harry Beltik, a master at chess, and other pretty high-rated players. She gains respect. From then on, Alma and Beth together scout tournaments and go and destroy everyone, winning open after open. She has money now. She buys chess sets, she buys clothes, and nobody in school messes with her anymore. Throughout this, she lives life a little, experiences new things, but then comes another tournament, the US Open in Las Vegas. She experiences her first loss in tournament history, against Benny Watts. She met him a couple of years before that, but didn't know much about him. That loss made them co-champions of the US Open, and it was the first time she didn't win something. She had also won some spots at higher tournaments by placing high in the US Open. This is also the first time she meets Borgov at her first international tournament in Mexico. Everyone is also saying that the Russians are the best at chess and no one can beat them, but she didn't fully believe it. Throughout the tournament, her mom was partying every night with her new boyfriend. Beth had beaten everyone until that day came. She had to play Borgov. She saved a seat for her mother and everything, but she got beaten. As she would say herself, destroyed. She wasn't able to do anything against him, and when she returned to her room to tell her mother the whole game, her mother, who had been sick and couldn't make the game, was found dead. It was a big hit to Beth. She met again with her father, who didn't want to leave her the house. So Beth bought it, changed a lot of things, and started living alone for the first time in her life. And this is also when she loses herself. She started drinking a lot, but then came the US Championship where she had to beat Benny, so she got herself together. She beat everyone, and then even though Benny humiliated her at speed chess the day before, she destroyed him in the final game, winning the US Championship for the first time. She had a tournament in Paris in 2 weeks, but she didn't want to go. Benny told her she needed to go and asked if she wanted to train at his house in New York. No alcohol, nothing, just chess every day. She agreed. When they arrived, she was excited until she wasn't. Benny's apartment was not something she expected. Anyway, she had no other choice, really. They trained every day in different ways, but the main focus was Borgov. She had to play him in Paris. A few days before she left New York, they had a small party where she met a new friend, Cleo. They also played speed chess again, and now she destroyed them all. Here comes Paris. She's locked in, arrives in Paris, and wins every game. She's calm, no distractions, just her in this tournament. The day comes. She has to play Borgov again, something she's been training for a long time. Then in the evening, she gets a call. She's invited to the bar. It's Cleo. Beth really doesn't want to go and kind of declines the invitation, but in the very end, she goes and says just one drink. But we all know how that goes. She got drunk, fell asleep in the bathtub, and had to be woken up by knocking at her door because she forgot she had to play Borgov. She quickly got ready as much as she could, but looked really hungover. Wasted about 30 minutes on her clock, and Borgov sensed all of this. Beth had no chance again. Now she fell into a real problem. She went back home, drank every day, took pills every day, and then was informed that she needed to go to Russia because she won the US Championship and got invited. She didn't have any money. She asked the Federation. They wouldn't give it to her. She asked Benny. He wouldn't. Nobody would. But then someone knocked at her door. She opened it thinking it was Harry Beltik knocking at her door again, but it was someone she would never expect. Jolene, her best friend from the orphanage. She saw how messed up Beth was, that the whole house was a mess, that she was hungover all the time and taking pills, but really she came for only one reason. Mr. Shaibel had died, and his funeral was the next day. They went together. She also wanted to see the basement where she played her first chess game, but there she found Mr. Shaibel's wall, full of Beth's games and pictures from tournaments. He had been following her career the whole way. This really broke her down. She asked Jolene for money for Russia, which she obviously gave, because Jolene was a real friend to her. She went to Russia, won everyone there, and in the final battle against Borgov, sober as a judge, she was able to see the pieces on the ceiling and finally beat Borgov for the first time ever. Everyone in Russia loved her. She had never seen so many fans, even in the US. She was fulfilled and did what she always wanted to do. D.L. Towns. Towns was first seen when Beth entered the Kentucky State Championship for the first time. She really liked him. She fell in love with him. Towns was a good chess player, but nowhere near Beth's level. He disappeared for a little while, but then came back again when Beth was playing the US Open in Las Vegas. Towns was a journalist and a photographer. He wanted to do a page on Beth, so he invited her to his room. There was a very awkward situation. They didn't speak after that, but Beth was still in love with him. Then at the very last game, when Beth had an adjournment against Borgov, they met again. He had everything set up so that after waking up, she would get the best moves calculated. It was Benny, Harry, Arthur, and Hilton. They had stayed up all night and helped her find the best moves. He was the reason she won the game. Allston Wheatley. Allston is Alma's husband and Beth's adoptive father. With everything going on in the family, he has to leave the house and work full-time across the country, so he isn't seen at all. Later, he learns from Beth that Alma had passed away, and he says Beth can have the house. She just needs to pay for the burying of Alma. It turns out Allston has changed his mind and now doesn't want to give Beth the house. He's kind of scared to even look at her. He gets called pathetic, and from there on out, we don't see him again. Alma Wheatley. Alma is the wife of Allston and mother to Beth, a real mother. Alma was a stay-at-home mom because she had some mental struggles after her miscarriage, but she gets into a good relationship with Beth and really cares about her. Quickly, she helps Beth set up everything for tournaments and kind of becomes her manager. Together, they travel around the country, and when going to Mexico, she gets informed they will be going to Paris in a month, and Alma is really excited. In Mexico, she also meets a pen pal from a long time ago. She parties with him every day, lives life again, but becomes sick. During the game with Borgov, Alma passes away in her hotel bed, where she is later found by Beth. Harry Beltik is first seen during the first Kentucky State Championship. He's a former champion and the highest rated player in Kentucky. He disrespects Beth in the final game by arriving late and not feeling any type of way about it, but then quickly realizes that he's lost. He goes away for a bit, but then shows up again at Beth's house, wanting to play chess together and teach her some of his skills. It goes a bit differently than he wants, and he starts changing his life. He got so destroyed by Beth during these days that he realized he doesn't want to become a grandmaster anymore. He becomes a manager of a grocery store and studies to become an electrical engineer. He again tries to talk to Beth when she's going through a very low point in life, but now it goes completely differently than before. The last we see of him is when he helps with the adjournment against Borgov. Benny Watts. Benny's also a chess prodigy. He's first seen in Cincinnati, where he visits to meet with some people. At first, Beth sees him as this arrogant, popular guy everyone knows, and he's so confident in himself. They meet again at the US Open, where Benny instantly tells Beth that she lost her advantage against Beltik and could have lost. That really angers Beth, that someone she'd never talked to before found a mistake in her game. They play each other the next day, and Beth loses to him. It's her first loss ever. From then on, their relationship gets closer. She plays him again the next year in Ohio at the US Championship and completely destroys him. Later, they go to Benny's apartment in New York, where he becomes her mentor and coach, now a very close friend and even something more. After that, we only see him trying to convince Beth to go to Russia and then helping her with the adjournment against Borgov. Alice Harmon. Alice is Beth's biological mother. She's divorced and lives together with Beth in a trailer. She has a PhD in mathematics and is very smart, but is going through a very hard time mentally. She decides to try to kill both herself and Beth in a car crash, but she's the only one who dies, leaving Beth alone. William Shaibel. Mr. Shaibel is a janitor at Beth's orphanage. He's the one who shows Beth what chess is, teaching her the basics and playing with her every week. He's the real reason Beth started playing chess. He was a good player, but Beth quickly got better than him. When Beth leaves the Methuen home, we don't see him again, and later, we learn from Jolene that Mr. Shaibel had passed. He was following Beth's every step and was her biggest fan, keeping pictures and games from her tournaments at his workplace. Annette Packer. Annette Packer is Beth's opponent at her first ever tournament, and also her first... She's seen once at the Kentucky State Championship and then a little later again, just visiting to see Beth. But Beth was a mess then, and they didn't really get to talk. Arthur Levertov. Arthur is a grandmaster at chess. We first see him when they arrive at the small party in Benny's apartment. He plays speed chess with Beth, and he's also there to help with the adjournment against Borgov. Cleo. Cleo is a French fashion model who also meets Beth at the small party in Benny's apartment. She kind of becomes friends with Beth at the party, telling her sad backstory about how she wanted to end her life. Later, she's the one who calls Beth in Paris before the Borgov game and gets her to come to the bar where things don't end so well. Mr. Ganz. Mr. Ganz is a member of the chess club where Mr. Shaibel played. He's also the coach of the Duncan High Chess Club. He visits Beth at the Methuen home to see her talents. She quickly beats both him and Mr. Shaibel without looking at the boards. He organizes her simultaneous match against everyone at the high school, where she also beats everyone. We never see him after that. Helen Deardorff. Helen is the director/headmistress at Methuen home. She doesn't really talk that much. She tries lying, saying that Beth is 13 even though she's 15, and that's really it. Jolene DeWitt. Jolene is also an orphan. She's 4 years older than Beth. They quickly become best friends at the Methuen home. She's also colored, as they would say, and in Kentucky it was rare to see someone colored being successful. When Beth left the orphanage, we didn't see Jolene again until the very last episodes, where she visits Beth's home, helps her get her life together, and gives her money for the Russia trip. We learn that she's saving money for law school and getting married to a rich white guy. Luchenko. Luchenko is a former Russian world chess champion. He's old but still good enough to play at the highest level. When in Russia, he faces Beth. Beth reveals that he is her inspiration and that she has studied a lot of his games. After their game, he congratulates Beth and tells her that she is the best player he has ever played against. Manuel. He's that Mexican guy who was partying with Alma, as Beth said.
I'm pretty sure they're...
Soon enough, the fun ends, and he also abandons Alma, the same way Allston did. Margaret Johnson. Margaret Johnson is a classmate of Beth Harmon. She was this popular girl with rich parents, making fun of the less fortunate ones. She was a part of the Apple Pie Club. When Beth started becoming popular and earning money from the tournaments, she invited Beth to the apple pie party, but Beth quickly realized this wasn't for her. Later we see her now is Margaret Neal. She has a baby and a stroller full of alcohol, not very happy with her life at that time. Miss Lonsdale. This is the chapel leader at Methuen Home. I swear she looks like a guy and is so creepy. The way she talked and looked reminds me of a horror movie character. Mr. Bradley. Mr. Bradley is the owner of the store/pharmacy. He doesn't allow Beth to read the chess magazine because of the rules, so Beth steals it. He doesn't say anything until the next time when he asks Beth.
You wouldn't rather just steal it?
Mr. Ferguson. This is an orderly at Methuen Home. He's the one who introduces Beth to Librium. Really, he's just doing his job, distributing state-mandated pills to the orphans to make them calmer. Vasily Borgov. Borgov is the current world champion. He's Russian and always has his wife, kid, and KGB by his side. His wife translates all of his interviews as he doesn't understand English. He's the best player Beth plays against, and she struggles to beat him, but on the third attempt she gets herself together and beats Borgov in his own country. Borgov was a chess prodigy known around the world, beating everyone in his area at just 6 years old. Mike and Matt. I'm not really sure who is who, they are twins. We first see them at the Kentucky State Championship where they doubt Beth's confidence and don't believe she can beat anyone. She proves them wrong. Later we see them in Houston and Mexico. They also help Beth with the adjournment as they were pretty good at chess.